Hi all, right back with more Labyrinth, playing the extended campaign solo. This is part 15, and about to start a new turn. Um, just the same day as I finished recording part 14 there. So we've got, I've not looked at my hand yet. We've got 8 cards, they've got 9. There's a situation out there, it's not great. No. Egypt's under Islam's rule, so yeah, I mean, yeah, we're soft. Our prestige is terrible. Yeah, okay. Right, let's we'll think about what we're gonna do shortly. The jihadist player starts anyway. So, first card, here we go. Right, that's a bad card, isn't it? It's a WMD sort of card. So 2 ops, jihadist card. Player of Central Asia has a cell and no CTR marker. Okay. Well, this is the case this time. Okay. The situation in Central Asia, there it is. It was Islamist rule. We done a regime change last turn, and it's still sitting in that state with the 5 cells. Yeah, sorry, I'm having a sort of blank moment there where I thought, how's there 5 cells and 6 troops? Are we not restricted? We're not allowed to move the troops out, are they? We've got to keep 5 more troops than cells, which we've only got 1 more troop than cells. Isn't that right? But when we do the regime change, that was fine. Yeah, I mean, the cells all go active. I think they were active from their previous major jihad anyway. So yeah, so this card says that play of Central Asia has a cell and no CTR marker. Well, there's no CTR marker. I'm not quite sure what they are. Is that in a wee event? Yeah, there is 2 of them here. My guess is there must be events that put these in play, which must be US events, like stopping this from happening. CTR, somebody will know what it means. CTR. In the rule book, maybe. No, I've not seen it there, but pretty sure I could probably work out what it meant. I just can't, there's nothing really jumping out at me here. Someday will maybe come out with it, but it's obviously going to stop the weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, I just can't sort of think what the words could be. But anyway, there's no CTR marker, but there is cells there. So this is playable. Card 69. Okay, so card 69, Kazakh strain. The Soviets built facilities near the town of Stepnogorsk in northern Kazakhstan for factory-scale production of weapons-grade anthrax. Work on Marburg virus occurred nearby. This event postulates that jihadists or those willing to sell to them get their hands on some of the leftovers, seed cultures, weaponized product, or just the expertise to reproduce them. Okay, so not good. So Kazakh strain. Extremists find Cold War bug. Play of Central Asia has a cell and no CTR marker. It's playable. Roll as if 1 operation there. Success, add a WMD to available plots. Failure, remove the cell. Okay. Roll as if 1 operation there. Let me see, card 69. I didn't check the event table, but I'm not so sure there is going to be anything in there. No, there's not. It's just, I suppose I'm just trying to get my head round. Some of I think they just, obviously there's limited space on these cards, and sometimes I feel like they could do with more words. Roll as if one operation there. Success, I mean... Well, sure, you're rolling against the... So it's as if we've got a 1 ops, I think. And we're rolling against the governance, which is 3. Is that right then? I want to make sure I'm getting this right though. Roll as if 1 operation there. Yeah. So 1 operation gives you 1 dice. And to succeed in that country, you need to roll. I mean, it's got that in the rules at the beginning of the. Right, hang on. No, but that's for the jihad. That's for the old bot. I mean, I don't think it actually has this in the new bot instructions though. Maybe it does. No, I don't think it is. And oh no, this isn't bot rules. Sorry, my bad. This isn't actual bot rules. This is jihadist operations. Yeah, I thought that felt a bit strange. So operations value. So roll as if 1 operation means that we've got unlike US operations, jihadist operations can use any card regardless of the target's country's governance. However, almost jihadist operations require die rolls. So we're going to roll as if 1 operation. So we'll roll 1 dice. Card value determines the number of dice rolled. Well, this is telling us that it's 1. It's not. We're not using the card value because remember we're playing this for the event. But it's saying we're rolling it as if it's 1 operation. And governance determines the success range of the rolls. We're in a poor. It's a poor governance. So a 3 or less, a 1 or 2 or 3 would succeed. Yeah, interesting with it being Islamist rule, eh? Which it could have been here, couldn't it? Yeah, if it'd been an Islamist rule, we wouldn't be rolling the dice, it'd be automatic. Okay. Do you feel the need to look further, Grant, or are you happy with that? So if we succeed, we add a WMD to available pots. If we fail, we remove this cell. So assuming we remove 1 of the cells. Meaning the condition to play it was Central Asia has a cell. You know, so I mean it does have a cell. It doesn't just have 1 cell, but remove this cell at the end. Yeah, come on, Grant. That's common sense. Yeah, I've said before about what I think of common sense. Can't really deal with it that well. Shall we go and just BGG the card maybe? Yeah, let me go and have a quick look just to put my mind at rest. Right, okay, so I did go and have a look. There was a couple of threads out there, so it was worthwhile having a look. It is confirmed, even though people are talking about 2-player. This card doesn't really differentiate between the bot being a 1-player or a 2-player. It's 1 operation, and you need the governance or less to succeed. It was spoken about earlier if the country was Islamist rule, and yeah, Volkurunki confirmed that it'd be an automatic success, which is what I thought. The other interesting one that came up, and I thought, just as well I looked, the bot has 2 reserves right now, and there's 5 cells available. So could this 1 operation be increased by the 2 reserves and become 3 ops? Well, that question was asked as well, and it was answered, not by the designer or anything, but I think I'm happy with the answer. Basically saying that you can only add reserves you can't add reserves to an event. You can add it to the ops of the card, and again, if this becomes radicalization, you could add that, but you can't add ops to an event. This is an event with 1 ops. You can't add the reserves to that. So I'm happy with that as well. That sounds right. That would have been really bad. Okay, so we're going to roll 1 dice. And see if we get a 1 to 3 here. There could be trouble ahead. Yeah, because that just I'm thinking that goes in Central Asia, doesn't it? It just goes in the plots box, doesn't it? Oh my. Right, okay. Is this their first card play? It is. Okay, we've got some work to do. Well, let's hope this is higher than a 3. And it's not. So, success. Add a WMD to available plots. Right. So, there's the plot markers there. And yeah, I think I was thinking that it's just involving Central Asia and that like it's going to be put in Central Asia, but no, it's not going to do that. It's going to go in here, and then it's going to be accessible. So WMD, there we go. Now, I'm not going to put this face down. I think I keep this face up because they are going to select this. I mean, well, they're not going to prioritise any of that until they get to plot, are they? So maybe I shouldn't panic as such. But when that gets placed out there, I've got to remove that. I've got to be ready to remove that because it's going to get placed in the US. The cells in the US. Well, there's another thing. Maybe get rid of the cells out of the US. Because if that goes unblocked in the US, the game's over. So, but they still need to get around to a plot operation, which you don't see them doing very often. I would say the previous bot, they've done it all the time. Every time they drew a US card, they used it for plot, which was a bit much, to be honest. I'm glad that they did change that. But anyway. But the thing is, what would you do right now if you're playing as a jihadist player and you had a WMD plot and cells in the US? Yeah, you definitely force your opponent to have to remove the plot, I think. Thing is, once that plot gets removed, it's removed from the game. So, now I say removed from the game. Well, it is removed from the game, but can it still come back? Are they limited to the amount of them they've got? I've got another one there. What have I got? Must have been extra plot markers come with the expansion or something. It looks like I've got 2 sets of plot markers, and looks to me like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 WMD plot markers in here. So that's probably not going to matter then if it was completely removed from the game or not, is it? Okay, so this all happened, and the success was add a WMD to available plots, and then this card's going to get removed. But this was only their first card play, so let's get their second card play. Okay. Oh no, is this not oh my god? Oh no! This is horrible. Play of a non-Islam rule country as a cell. Replace the cell with any 2 available plot markers. How could I have drawn that card next? Seriously. So the US is going to get a WMD and another plot marker, I think. Here. Play if a non-Islamist rule country has a cell. Well, there's plenty of options. Well, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 options here. So this is playable. So let's have a look at it. You can see there's 3 of these cards in the game. Cards 87, 88 and 89. It's 88 we've got here. So I'm not sure if we've seen this before in this game. If we haven't, it got played in the last little session I had anyway, I think. So, martyrdom operation. Unlike the Japanese kamikaze of World War II, jihadist suicide bombers are motivated by their belief not only that it is their duty to die, but also that self-inflicted death will grant them paradise after life. Islam forbids suicide, but makes an exception on the battlefield, and those fighting against US or Israeli occupation or for the global jihad have taken that exception to an extreme. The result is a force of operatives who are tremendously difficult to deter or stop, and the supply of young men and women willing to take their own lives in God's cause, be it to kill just a few civilians or thousands in the act, appears endless. Okay, so 3 ops, jihadist card, playable. Replace the cell with any 2 available plot markers. So it doesn't even need to have had 2 cells here. So just checking the event instructions, card 88, and it'll be 87 to 89. Here we are, martyrdom operation. Use plot priorities table. Alright, so it's not directly saying that the US, but use plot priorities table. And it is just the table with this one. It specifically says this. Where's the table? I mean, the table's going to select US, isn't it? So, plot priorities table. The first option is the US, right? So, is there a cell in the US? I mean, and clearly the US is not an Islamic rule country. So, we're going to replace a cell with any 2 available plot markers. That's horrible. Right, so we replace one of these cells in the US. Now, okay, well, we need to just double check the plot placing priorities thingy. It's just going to be in the rulebook, right? So recruiting or placing cells. When an event instructs to recruit, place, or replace cells, which is what we're doing, we're replacing a cell. Sorry, maybe I should just show you. We've been at this bit before, and it goes on the next page, which is important this time, and one of the times that I missed this bit. Or replace cells or cadres, the jihadist bot uses the recruit and travel to priorities of the operations priorities flowchart to select the country. Well, that's not what we're doing, because the country's already been selected. But this is where this exception comes in. Exception, if also placing plots, use 12.34 instructions. Okay, so we come down to 12.34. Placing plots. All available plot markers remain face down or selected randomly when placed by a plot operation or by an event, unless the event specifies a plot value. Well, it's not here though, but anyway, read on. When an event instructs to place a plot, the jihadist bot selects the country using plot column of the priorities table on the events or operations player aid chart. Well, we've been told where they're going. If instructed to perform plot by the Evo, well, we're not. We were instructing to place a plot by event, but it's telling us the country. When it's, yeah, okay. Right, so I guess I'm waiting for the bit that tells me that it's always going to place the WMD plot first. I thought I was going to find that there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it, but remember this is a bot thing, so I can't look up the normal rules for this because could it be in the notes here maybe? No. I'm pretty sure I'll come across it. I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't be why I place the WMD plot first anyway, but right, okay, that's I went away looking through both the rule books, as in the main base rule book and the Awakening rule book, just on PDF searching for WMD, and I'm still not finding my answer here. I mean, I'm convinced that this WMD marker is going in the US and then one random other plot marker, but I'm not reading it anywhere, which is bothering me. One thing I did notice when I was looking, there's a couple of things in the rulebooks as well, just to check, that I was talking about WMD markers, and of course they're on the board here. Now when we move into the expansion, there's some extra ones come up because you've got Iran can have them, and also Syria. But these aren't in play yet. But when we go into the expansion, some extra ones come out. I think that's why I've got that many of them. However, I've took the one out my box here. There's loads of pot markers and 6 of them WMDs, and put it there. I mean, it probably doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but no, it should come out here, shouldn't it? Because this was what the card was. Kazakh strain, wasn't it? Yeah, Kazakh strain. So it should have been one of these WMD markers that we clearly use for that. Not that there's anything on either side of it, but that's where it should have came from. And I just took this out of the box. So I'll put that back. So it means there's only 2 left there. And they're for each of the events, aren't they? You've got Loose Nuke, Hue, and Kazakh strain. So that's a Kazakh strain one being used. Okay, so that was that little bit, which I'm sure somebody would have picked up on. So let's just look. I mean, I'm having to sort of rewind here. I've not searched BGG because I really thought I would find this in the rules. And I figured searching for WMD would be the best way to do it. But now I know this is the old bought rules, but just humour me. Yeah, I mean, yes, this is old rules, so I'm not going to go with this, but just reading that. 9.3.3, acquiring WMD. Each WMD pot marker added to the event box replaces one of the lowest... Added to the event box. I'm assuming that's meaning the available pots box, but... Each WMD pot marker added to the event box replaces one of the lowest available number pot markers. And it's got brackets. Set replace pot markers aside so that there are always exactly 6 pot markers in play. When a WMD pot marker is used, return the highest set number pot marker to the event box. And that modifies 4.7.8.1. Which is pot marker. I mean, this is relevant to what we're doing, I suppose. 6 non-WMD pot markers are numbered either 1, 2, 3. Keep them face down the available pots box. Yeah, I was saying events box there, and I'm assuming that must mean the available pots box. Only the jihadists side may inspect them. They may be reused. Higher value pots require higher value operation cards to place. Right, okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's well, what I'm taking from that is right now we've got 7 pots up there now because of that WMD, so I'm not sure. Again, this is old bot rules, so I'm not going to change that just yet because that's not the same. It doesn't say that in the new rules. Now there was one bit about plots that I came across. It was 13 something. Oh, that's just going to be for the US bot. Placing and removing plots. But this is under the US bot rules, so I'm not going to be reading that then, am I? Okay. I mean, here is the bit that I remembered seeing, and this is radicalization though, right? And it says, first, the very first thing you do in radicalization, if there's any sales in the US and there's 1 or more WMD plots available, plot in the US with as many sales as possible. It still doesn't tell you there to plot with the WMD plot, and I'm sure it's written here somewhere. But you think I can find it? So let me go to BGG now and have a look there. I can't find this, and it's really annoying me. There must be something that tells me. Let's look at this player aid maybe. WMD alert. Yes, player gains 1 prestige. If we remove a WMD, that's quite nice then. But this is not regarding the solo rules. WMD and WMD alert. Yeah, it talks about Pakistan and it talks about the other things for. See, I don't think. It does say at the bottom there, each time the US player successfully alerts or reveals/removes a WMD pot for any reason, including from events, And even if that WMD was not yet available to the jihadist player, the US player gains +1 prestige. But again, you know, that's telling about the jihadist player placing plots, but like I say, if my understanding is if I'm playing as a jihadist player right now, I can pick whatever plot I want to place. I mean, I'm just wanting to find the bit that says if there's a WMD plot marker, you always select that first. And I'm sure it's here, but like I say, if I'd done a search for WMD on in the PDF rules and nothing came up to highlight that, then is there any point in looking through this again, Grant? Then sure, the search for WMD, that's the bit that would come up. There would be something jump out at me saying always place a WMD if there's one available. And just looking on the flow charts there, not seeing anything. I must be missing the obvious. You know, even in the flow chart here, in this here radicalization, if cells in the US and WMD available, plot in the US. Even that doesn't say that it must be taken for granted that you plot with the WMD, because it's asking the question and then just saying plot. And what I wanted to say is plot with the WMD, but even this is not what we're doing right now. We're doing it through an event. Martyrdom operation. I mean that. Hang on, Grant. Event instructions. We looked at this already. Don't tell me. No, use plot priorities table. It says, you know, if it had said and always select WMD plots, it's got to be somewhere. Plots priorities table. I mean that's just to prioritise where they go. I mean, there's not a mention of WMD anywhere there, apart from this bit along here, radicalization. I feel daft, but I feel like I'm going to have to ask this question. I mean, could I have this wrong? And could it just be that this flips like this? Grant, that's what it is, isn't it? And we randomise. That's why it's not telling you to select the WMD. Of course, because then me as a US player does not know if it's a WMD. Oh God, what a fool. Okay, sorry about all that. That must be what it is. So, hang on. That's jihadist operations. That's not bot operations, Grant. Place one available plot marker face down, either WMD or plot number of cards ops value or less. So I'm assuming if you're playing as the jihadist player, you would look at the plot markers, and if it's a 1 or 2 or a 3, you've got to play a card. Does that not well, I suppose you could play a 3 ops card and put a 1 ops plot out there, couldn't you? Sort of wasted though, but I mean, because they go face down, but you've got to pay the ops value or less. The card's ops value or less. Yeah, the plot's got to come from, if you play a 2 ops card, it can only be a 1 or 2 plot. Okay, just go back to where it tells you about how you select the plots, Grant. So that has to be in the new rules, though. Yeah, placing cells. So, sorry about all this. I'm really like, where are we? Placing ports. It's in here. It's as simple as. All available port markers remain face down or selected randomly when placed by a port operation or by an event. Unless the event specifies a port value. Well, the event just says 2 available port markers. So, yeah, and then it goes on to tell you how you prioritize where it goes. But the event table told us to select. Well, it's just the same thing. You'd be using the port priorities table, wouldn't you? Which is what we used. But the event instructions tell us to do that. So the only thing that's not mentioned here that was mentioned in the old rules, but again, that was the old rules, was that there should only be 6 of these here. Now, could that be, again, that a D6 has six possibilities? Could it just be that? There's nowhere where it says. I'm just gonna look through the PDF documents again here, just in case I missed that bit, because that's not what I was looking for. But right, so hang on. Right, well, this has taken up a lot of my time. That I'm going to shuffle these up. Now, you might have your eye on the actual WMD marker, but I'm going to randomise this as well once I've done it. But I'm going to shuffle them up just now and put them back. So I popped a question out there, though, basically saying that the old rules stated that when this situation happened, that we would have removed one of the normal ports and replaced with the WMD port, but then put them all face down still. And my thinking of that was, there was another rule previously that involved, and you know what it is? It's when you look at the Schengen table. Thing is, this is on the new player aids. There's 7 Schengen countries, and there's only 6 options here. And the designer actually confirmed that the reason that was is you're rolling a D6. Now, I mean, there's other dice. I just resolved it by rolling a D8 and ignoring one of the numbers, but there's 7 countries. He did also add that Eastern Europe, being the 7th country that's not on this list, wasn't a country that would have been targeted much by jihadist events and things like that. So, so I put the question out there just asking, because there's nothing to say in the new rules that we shouldn't have more than 6 up here. In the old rules, it does say you replace it, and then once the WMD goes away, you replace it back again. My thinking is it's for the D6 again. I could be wrong. There might be another reason for it. And I guess that's why I wanted to ask the question. So I've got the question out there. But there's nothing I can see in the new rules that says that we should be replacing this WMD marker with, we should be removing one of the normal ports. But I would like to know that for sure, because obviously the odds are going to be slightly different, you know. Okay, it's not a D7, I'm rolling a D8, but there's 7 options compared to 6. 7 possibilities. I mean, if there was only 6, there'd be a better chance of that WMD marker going out there. I mean, I know there's a WMD marker there now, so any ports that go out there, I'm going to have to get on top of. And, well, I'm saying any ports. I've removed the cell, haven't I? Yeah, it's just, I probably need to take a break. This has went on that long. I'm just going to put this cell back just now. We know it's going to happen, and it was active. Both these cells were active. Because I've took the cell out to put, and so I'm not quite finished the martyrdom operation. And I suppose it might give somebody a chance to come back, answer my question. And if for some reason I missed the bit that says there should only be 6 up here, I'll be able to resolve the placing of the ports with that fixed. But I can't see it in the new rules it says. And I thought it might have been in the base rules, but not in the solo. But it is. I think I showed you it, didn't I? It's in 9 point something. Where is it? It's 9 point something. Travel. Placing ports, that's it there, isn't it? No. Acquiring WMDs, that was it. Yeah, because I copied and pasted this rule The 9.3.3, acquiring WMD, each WMD port marker added to the event box. And yeah, that is wrong. I read somewhere that was a rat ad. It shouldn't say event box, it should say available ports box. Replaces one of the lowest available number ports markers. I get the feeling it's just to keep exactly 6. And it says that there are always exactly 6 port markers in play. So it could be that it's meant as a rule, but it's not in the new rules, that. So it's maybe worthwhile me finding the answer to that in case I have missed something and there should just be 6 port markers, because it could make a difference. Okay, I'm going to pause now, that's 35 minutes, and we'll come back and resolve this martyrdom operation. I put the cell back, we'll put the WMD port up there, I have no idea what it is. I'm going to roll on D8 when I come back. Remember, there's 2 ports going as well, so it'll be a D8 roll and then a D6 roll to get 2 ports in the US, and we'll not know what they are. And we'll have to be on top of that. So let's just hope we've got 2 3-ops cards in our hand, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to have to do next turn. Let's play 2 3-op and see if we've not. We're going to have to hope and pray. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Cheers. Hi all, right, back to continue this part 15, isn't it? I think. I just was on pause there, so 36 minutes ticking away here. So got my job done, took the dogs out, so come back. Unfortunately, I haven't had an answer to that question, which was kind of hopeful I would, just in case, but I'm not too overly concerned about it. Of course, the question was, well, should there be 7 port markers here or should there be 6? I suppose you could round it up to that. I was thinking when I was out with the dogs about how you must have been screaming at the whatever you're viewing it on, your tablet, your TV, your phone, about Grant wanting to place the WMD marker and not finding in the rules that the bot would prioritise the WMD marker, and there's nothing in the rules to say it, and it wasn't till, well, you've seen what happened if you've watched it. Suddenly the penny dropped that Grant, it wants to stay hidden. It wants to keep it that we don't know if the WMD marker is going to get placed here or not, and that's why it does it that way. Yeah, a bit of a daft moment, but they do come and go then. So okay, so coming back to martyrdom operation then, I put the cell back. So play if a non-Islamist rule country as a cell. It tells us to check the port priority tables. The first port priority is the US, so it needs to have a cell in the US. So we're going to replace the cell with any 2 available port markers. Yeah, any 2 available port markers, Grant. And you know that the last time we placed a port marker, it's any 2 available port markers randomly from that selection, and nothing's changed there. Nothing in the rules changed. Don't get me wrong. It says, well, actually, that's a fair point as well. That's something else I was wanting to bring back to this, just to say, with radicalisation, its very first priority in radicalisation was, if there's any cells in the US and 1 or more WMD ports are available, port in the US with as many cells as possible. So again, it's not telling you to place the WMD markers. I'm scratching my head saying, it tells you there it's wanting to do this because it's a WMD port, so surely it places the WMD port. That's not what it says, is it? I'm starting to read it again and see if I can see it tell me to do that. But it's more advantageous for the bot to, because if we know it's a WMD, the thing is, doesn't matter if we know it's a WMD or not. We know there's a WMD there, so we now know that there could be a WMD in the US, and if that gets resolved, it's game over. So, in some ways, but if we then if we block the port and then reveal it, and it's not a WMD marker, it goes back to here. That was one thing. I remember reading in the rules again. Remember, and I want to say nobody said anything about this, but I want to say this is different from the original rules. That the resolve pots go there and they don't get replenished back to here until the end, until the turn end. Now we had a plot placed. It was the end of last turn, wasn't it? It was the very last thing I done though. So basically, when we resolved that plot though, it should have been placed there. But as it was the end of the turn, it would have got placed back there. So we're all right. But this time we need to remember that they go up there. Now you look at them. If it's a WMD plot, it gets removed from the game. If it's not, it'll stay up there until the end of the turn. And where is that again? That is in the rules, but it's not like that in the. I don't think it's like that in the base game rules. Nobody sort of pointed it out to me. But then why have they got this box? You know, this is the base game map. I think I spoke about that already. So. Other changes. Well, these are changes. So if it is in the changes bit, you know what? It is. So there you go. Actually, it's got other changes here. That's the rule 11.3, and in fact, rule 11 in itself is what's changed, and then it shows you some of the things that have changed. But I suppose we're just interested just now in 11.3, which is other changes. It tells you about WMD and WMD alert. Oh, Pakistan continues. I mean, maybe I should have. I did look through this. Of the 6 WMD markers in the game, 3 continue to be available. See, the problem with this is this isn't in play yet for me because I'm not playing the Awakening expansion yet. I'm not playing with Awakening cards. Now, when we get to the scenario, the campaign, well, it's extended campaign game. Obviously, in the Further War, it says extended campaign, but this bit's just the same. I'm pretty sure. It says here the Labyrinth Awakening expansion rules: play a raid card, end the turn sequence, commence with the first draw from deck 2. At that moment, place Awakening markers, and then place 3 WMDs in the respective spaces in Syria and Iran. So yeah, it all changes up a bit, but this is not really relevant to us right now. However, the bit down the bottom there about plots, that's the bit I was looking at, and this is a change. Plots. So jihadist player is limited to placing each plot marker once per turn. Once a non-WMD plot is revealed, either by alert, event, or by being resolved, place it in the resolved plots box, which is the box up there we're talking about, where it is unavailable until the end of turn sequence, when all 6 plots become available again. Thing is, yeah, you're just saying that this isn't relevant right now, so is this relevant? Or should I just be putting the plots back? I don't know. And I want to say that this end of turn box is probably going to tell me this, isn't it? Yeah, return plots to available, look. But we're not playing with this just yet. You know what? I really don't think it's going to matter, but, well, it might, to be honest. Let me know what you think about that, guys. If you think I should be using this rule just now, you know, bearing in mind how I'm playing the game, that I'm playing with a base game. I'm playing with a War on Terror deck just now, playing with the Awakening bot with the intent of playing the Awakening deck and then the Awakening rules once that kicks in, which is... You know what I'm saying? Maybe I shouldn't be using this. It's probably not a big issue. I think I might have spoke about that before when I realised that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be even considering that. Right, let's get back to this. So martyrdom operation. Replace the cell with any 2 available plot markers, right? I've took the cell away now again, haven't I? Right, in case it's up in the chat. Right, so I'm just going to go with the 7. Let me have one quick more look in case somebody's replied. And if not, I'm going to roll a d8 and re-roll an 8 and pick one of them 7. Then we'll put it out and then we'll roll a d6 and pick whatever comes up with that. Okay, so still no response, unfortunately, but I'm not overly bored about this. Like I say, if it was, it's not written in the rules. And it's only written in rule 9 point something, which is the old solo bot rules. And I'm not playing with them. So let's do it, right? So a D8 we have. So, and you can see it's just, I'm just going to go left to right, 1 to 7. If I roll an 8, I'll re-roll it. Right, I've rolled a 7, so that's going to be the last one. Yeah, going to be the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the first pot marker. Face down into the US. We don't know what it is. And then I'll roll a D6 for the other 6, just again left to right. And it's a 6, so that's the end one again. So that's going to come away as well. And put that in the US as well. So they've got 2 pots up there. This time we will have to look at it as well, won't we? Well, we're hopefully going to, what's it? Block these pots. What's the term again? Alert. We're going to do an alert operation. So there's the 2 pots in the US. Okay, bad things, bad stuff. Right, that's their card finish. Now, both these cards were played for event. Yeah, and just coincident, this put the WMD marker in play and this put it out on the board in the US. You know, bad timing the cards coming up there. So they were both played. This was played for event, so this is removed. This was played for event as well, but will just be discarded. So that goes there. The Kazakh strain one goes removed up the back there. Okay, that's their 2 card plays. 47 minutes. Well, I haven't looked at my hand yet, but I'll tell you what, this could be kind of big. I need 2 3 ops cards in my hand. If I don't get that, then well, one of the pots is going off. So, okay, let's have a look at my hand. Right, so the good news is I do have 2 3 ops cards in my hand. I've got I gained similar hand to the last time. I've only got 2. I've got 2 ops cards. No, actually, it was a hand before that. I've got 2 ops cards. The rest of 3s. Unfortunately, 3 of them are jihadist cards. 3 of them are unassociated though, and 2 US. The 2 US ones are the 2s. So yeah, we know what we've got to do here. So I shouldn't really need to dilly-dally too much with this turn, because we've got to remove the pots. So let's look at the cards though. You'll see we've got Martyrdom Operation. This card 87. Remember I said there's 3 of them. So this is going to be playable. Right, what about foreign fighters? Play if a country has regime change. It does. Place 5 cells there and remove 1 aid if any, or if none, place Brazil's regime. So, let me zoom in on them a little bit so you can see them a bit better. So yeah, foreign fighters is playable. We've got regime change in Central Asia. Well, to be honest, not you can't. I'm going to say I can work to try and make that not so, but it means I've got to get Central Asia to good, and I can only do a war of ideas in Central Asia if I've got 5 more troops than cells, isn't it? So first of all, I need to disrupt 4 of these cells. Don't get me wrong, that's not a terrible thing to be doing, because I'd get 2. One cost of 1 card would get me 2 of the cells and a boost to my prestige, and then doing it again would get me another boost to my prestige. We'd then be out of the low column, and then we'd have to roll with no modifiers, I think. Hang on, do you get? No, you don't, do you? You only get it as a penalty. Adjacent good ally? Oh, yes, adjacent good ally. So we would actually get a +1 roll for that. So but we've got to get that good before that regime change goes away. So it's possible, I guess. It's possible. Bearing in mind, our first card plays of this turn are going to be 2 3-ops cards to get rid of the 2 plots. So we've got to remember that I've got to spend 2 3-ops cards to do that. In Central Asia, there to do what I just said, to remove 4 cells would require another 2 3-ops cards. Then getting it to fair would cost me another 3-ops card. Then getting it to good would cost me another 2-ops card. I've probably got enough cards there, but that's also relying on the 2 War of Ideas rolls going in my favour. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is bad. Both of these are going to be playable. I don't see this not being playable. No. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 targets for this that are going to make it playable. I mean, 4 countries that are making it playable. Right, Quagmire. Well, let's hope this isn't playable. Play with prestige medium or low. Well, my prestige is low and it's not likely to get up to high anytime soon, so it's probably the best we're going to probably get is I suppose I could try and get to high. And a regime change country has a cell. Well, yeah, but if you work on there not being a regime change country, it means both of these then become unplayable, don't they? And a regime change country has a cell. Or we disrupt all 5 cells in Central Asia, I suppose. So it's not looking great. They're all quite playable. Right, let's see the 3 unassociated ones. US may play Bin Laden. US may play. Actually, was this not blocked? Fatah or Al Anbar. No, we've not got. I don't think you could play Fatah. It came up recently, didn't it? Did it become unplayable? Here's Grant doing what he does, going back and yeah, it's things like that do. I totally agree with what John said about that. Doing things like this just, yeah. Fatah. Actually, no, we discarded that. We didn't want to play that. That was the last card we left in their hand and discarded it. I'm pretty sure because it's just placed a cell in Pakistan, wasn't it? Afghanistan? No, Pakistan, right? Anyway, we didn't play it. So, right, going back to this. So, US may play if no Islamist rule. Well, there is Islamist rule, so I can't play it now until we deal with Egypt. And there's nothing I can do about Egypt. So, this is not going to be playable. There's your first card to use for your remove alert operation. So, -4 funding, +1 prestige, remove this card. I mean, the event's good, but there's no way in this turn. I don't think unless any of these other 4 cards might not have this Islamist rule, because I'm not going to be able to change the hard in this turn at all. So unless something does that, then that Bin Laden card's not going to be playable, I don't think. Right, Darfur. Test Sudan. Where's Sudan? Yeah, it's not being tested. Well, it doesn't matter. If it had been, you can still play it. Test Sudan. If US prestige high or very high, well, it's not. Place 1 aid in Sudan and shift 1 box towards ally. If not, place prestige regime and shift towards adversary. Right, so I'm not playing that card either. So there's your 2 plot removals, probably. Right, oil price spike. Ooh, oil price spike. Right, well, we know what that does. Select, reveal and draw a card other than oil price spike from the discard pile. Or a box. Right, now you need to be careful about putting that event because it will give a +1 to any resources of each oil producing country. Remember they're at 3. So that you're going to have to watch with that because any of these 2s, that's a 3. Where's the oil producing country? That's a 1. See, here. Algeria, Tunisia has got a value of 2, but it's an oil producing country. So if that oil price spike card's in play and they got Islamist rule there, game over. That's them up to 6 points. And there might be more than just Algeria, Tunisia. Iraq's 3 anyway. Sudan's only 1, so is Libya only 1. So I mean, technically, if we got both of them, that would do the trick as well. Saudi Arabia's 3. Gulf States is 3. Indonesia, Malaysia's 3. They're all oil producing. So yeah, but you still need to bear that in mind. However, I certainly will have a look through that big discard pile. I'll do that off camera, of course, initially, and maybe pick some cards out that I think might be of interest. And it's select, reveal, and draw a card other than oil price spike from the discard pile or a box. Yeah, okay. Right, the last 2, they're only 2 ops cards, US cards, so... Ethiopia strikes. Player of Somalia or Sudan is under Islamist rule. No. Yeah, that's a card we kept in our hands for as long as we could when we first played. And the reason I kept it was because I'd seen, well, Somalia's got risks of being under Islamist rule because it starts the game with Aziz regime marker, but nothing happened in Somalia. To be honest, this probably should be under Islamist rule, but they failed 3 die rolls. They had 3 dice and couldn't roll a 3 or less. And all they needed was 1 success because of the Baziz regime. And then we've put the 2 troops in there to kind of stop it. But this is really good. It's a really good card though. Play if Somalia or Sudan is under Islamist rule. See if that said Egypt. I mean, it doesn't say Egypt, but that would be... That would be a way, when I said there's no way I'm going to be able to make that not Islamist rule this turn. Well, if I got a card like that said, play if Egypt is under Islamist rule, set it to pure neutral, then that would have done the trick. But it's Somalia or Sudan. You can see Sudan's nothing happening in Sudan. Somalia, yeah, so it's probably not going to be an event as well. And then finally, Euro Islam. Select Benelux posture. So that's select Benelux posture. So we get to choose it. I think, yeah, select. This is when I'd have to look up the word. But I think that's right. I mean, it's not saying test Benelux posture. I think it would say test. So select Benelux posture. If no country under Islamist rule, -1 funding. Well, we know there is 1 country under Islamist rule. So again, well, it's going to set the select Benelux posture, but that's all it's going to do. So that's kind of frustrating. Hang on. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, so in all honesty, apart from the oil price spike, I'm not saying they're not playable. This is not playable. This does not an awful lot. This does not good things for us. This is not playable. And it looks like all 3 of these are playable. So these are the ones that are playable, but not to benefit us. Not great. Right, I'm probably going to have to go as well. But I could get my turn out of the way though, really, couldn't I? So do we just... Well, I suppose the one thing I maybe should do is have a look and see if there's a card in the discard pile that might change the view on everything here. So let me go and have a look. Right, okay, so I've picked 4 cards out of the discard pile. One of them in particular is really looking good. The other one's pretty good. And then this one I don't think is going to be an option, but it is quite good. Play if a country's marked with regime change. We've got Central Asia obviously marked with regime change. And this breaks the rule about there being 5 more troops in cells. So I get to place 1 aid there and roll a War of Ideas as if the global war on terror relations penalty is 0. Well, it is 0 at the moment. It's blocked by that card, but I'd get 1 aid there, and I would be able to roll a War of Ideas. We're adjacent to good as well, so we get +2 modifier. At the moment, though, the War of Ideas, the prestige is at -1 because it's low. So there's that. That would take a -1 off, and you know, unless I kept this until we got our prestige into the medium, then we would get a +2 on that, becoming fair. But then to get it to good, we'd then have to do a normal War of Ideas, and we'd still have to get rid of the troops. So I don't think that card's going to be the one option. This was one of the last cards I looked at, and I don't think I'm going to be taking this either. But WMD plots in the US are always face up. But obviously, there's got to be a one-player instruction for this. And the one-player rules is, if jihadists have WMD, which they have, all plots in the US are placed face up. Now, I'm not going to take this card, but I would need to know the answer. Would these now be turned face up if I put this in play? I mean, I think so. But I mean, it does... Yeah, all plots in the US placed face up, but the thing is, I'm not then placing them because they're already being placed. Thing is, that's only getting you to look at, that's only allowing you to look at them, Grant. It's not allowing you to take them away. So anyway, I don't think I'm taking that card either. Right, so the two that were pretty good, I want to say this is probably not going to be the one I'm taking, but it's really good. Play if there's a regime change country. Oh no, that's not what I was thinking it was. Sorry, I was thinking that was Islamist rule, which would be really strong. Yeah, play if there's a regime change country, improve its governance 1 level. Well, in actual fact, that and that, what was the other card? Yeah, nation building. If you had both of the cards in your hand, there's a good chance you could get that to good, possibly. I mean, that's a good card as well, because again, it doesn't need, it's not a War of Ideas rule, even that one, so it doesn't need to be governed by rules of changing its governance. It just says improve it, right? But I don't think I'm taking that. I actually read it wrong though. Anyway, I thought it said improve Islamist rule governance by 1, like back to poor, which would have been really strong. But yeah, that's maybe too strong. Okay, so the card that I think, I mean, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer, I think, this. So wiretapping, it says can be blocked by leak down at the bottom. Well, we've not got a leak in play, so that's good. Play if any cadres, cells, or plots in the US, the UK, or Canada. Remove them all, place no cadres, and draw a card. Right? That's like, that card is made for me right now. So, cadres, cells, or plots in the US, UK, or Canada. We've got a cell in the US, we've got a cell in the UK, and we've got 2 plots in the US. All of them getting taken away, and we're not putting any cadres down as well. Normally at an event, when you replace the cell, you would leave a cadre, but it specifically says there, place no cadres, and draw a card. I'm pretty sure that I'm playing oil price spike as my first card play of the turn, and I'm going to play this as my second card play of the turn. Because it gets rid of the cell as well. It's like, yeah, that's amazing for the position I'm in. Yeah, the only thing with this is we're putting oil price spike in play right from the off here. But I need to do it to make the most of this card, really, don't I? Yeah, I'm just doing this. I'm doing this. So that's in the discard pile. I'm gonna play oil price spike for the event. So I just need to be wary about that. Like I say, I think the only country that's at 2 that's oil producing is Algeria, Tunisia. So if I start seeing some activity there, though, I've got to remember that for the rest of this turn, that's not considered a 2, it's a 3. And that's what, remember, they're at 3 resources as it is. Okay, so I'm going to play this for the event, select review, and draw a card other than oil price spike from the discard pile or a box. Add +1 to the resources of each oil producing country for the turn. So I'm going to do that. Well, let's have a look at the event. I think we played this already, though, didn't we? I mean, the other oil price spike is in the discard piles, so yeah, I think we did. I think we played it for the event. It was early on in the game. In fact, it might have even been just the first turn. Anyway, oil price spike 2006, 2008. Muslim countries together possess some 3/4 of the world's oil reserves, while the US alone consumes about 1/4 of the world's oil. A key jihadist allegation against the West is that it exploits the Muslims' world's wealth, particularly its oil, through corrupt, dictatorial and un-Islamic puppet regimes, and therefore that the United States, in the absence of true Islamist rule, explain the Muslim world's relative poverty despite its oil resources. Under these conditions, any effort to influence the destiny of the Islamic world must pay special attention to those countries in which that oil wealth is concentrated. Yeah, so I mean, I did read that event before, but we're playing this for event. Okay, so I'm going to select, reveal, and draw a card other than oil price spike from the discard pile. And that's the card I'm taking. I'm taking Wiretapping. That's me finished with my first card play, and we're just going to straight up play this card. Because it's just, yeah. So we're playing Wiretapping for the event. So let's have a look at that event. Okay, that's quite brief. Wiretapping 2002 to 2005. Warrantless domestic surveillance by the US National Security Agency, instituted after 9/11 as a counter-terrorism measure, once acknowledged, generated substantial controversy over its legality and effectiveness. Well, whatever the event, it's just such an awesome event for me right now, I think. So, Wiretapping, aggressive US domestic surveillance. Play of any cadre cells or pots in the US, UK or Canada. I'm forgetting about my events table, but we looked for the martyrdom one and whatever. I mean, this is not the bot playing this anyway. It's really relevant to the bot, granted. Yeah, I don't need to look at that. Okay, so play if any cadre cells or pots in US, UK or Canada. There is. Remove them all, place no cadres, and draw a card. It says it can be blocked by a leak. A leak is not in play. So we're going to remove this. We're going to remove that now. Hold on. So they got away. No cadres left. Back to the track. Now, do I have to look at these to see if there's a WMD? I think I do, don't I? Normally I would get to look at these, but they would just go, well, I mean, just say remove them all. I'm assuming we have to, I mean, the old, I'm saying the old rules. Yeah, and I'm not sure, like I've left the question in the video there about whether I should be. The old rules say return the pot marker to the available pots box or remove it from the game if WMD. But remember, we've got that instruction in the new rules about leaving them in the resolved pots box until the end of turn. And I'm not sure if I should be doing that or not just yet. Both player aid cards summarise how to resolve unblocked pots. Okay. It's not. We're not resolving an unblocked pot here. We're just removing the plot. I really don't. I think you're making this more. You don't need to be looking at this, Grant. But we've got to look at the plot markers. Then, if one of them's a WMD, it's getting removed from the game. The other ones, you can see there again, it says the available pot box. I might have to go and ask this question if I'm going to put them in the available pots box or if I'm going to leave them up here till the end of the turn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them up there until the end of the turn at the moment, and then see the thing with that is if I put them back there, it then brings it back to 7. Well, unless one of them is the WMD, it's going to remove from the game. But let's say that's not the WMD. if I put them there, it's back to 7. So less chance of that WMD coming out. Whereas if I put the 2 of them up there, it's then a 1 in 5 chance it would be in a WMD, which gives me more information that it might be likely, but however, I still need to react to it, don't I? It's more likely going to be a WMD, isn't it? Okay, I need to get this bit wrapped up. So, yeah, I'm just going to remove, it just says remove them all. So I'm going to remove them. We're going to have a look at these 2 plot markers then. Okay, I'm going to bring them down here. I'm going to zoom in here and let's just see what they are. See if we stopped a WMD. Right, plot number 2, plot number 1. So we did not. Well, that's we were hoping to get. So I think it makes it harder for me if these 2 are put here. Doesn't it? It does, because then there's only 5 here. And we know that one of them is a WMD. So the other thing you've got to remember that there's a WMD here. Don't know if there's a marker or anything like that to tell you, but you should. I mean, I don't suppose you would forget it, would you? But I mean, I'm not going to forget. But anyway, because you know, if there is one there, it determines some things, doesn't it? Anyway, okay. Well, we'll leave that and we'll put them up there, and I might have to go and ask a question here, or if any of you guys get around to watching this before it's relevant, please answer it here. Should I be putting them there right now, or should I be randomizing them back into there, mix them up? Because of the way I'm playing the game, you know, I'm playing. Yeah, I'm not going to go over that again. Okay, so and then finally, the last thing that happens with this card is we get to draw a card. That's just such a good event. I mean, okay, if you had, it was so good for me because I had a cell in each US and the UK, and 2 plots in the US. So and we're not placing cadres. Awesome. Okay, right, we get to draw another card as well, so let's bring that down to our, well, let's just have a look at it, what we get. Right, so it's only 1 ops jihadist card, place a cell in Somalia. Well, I don't want to do that. Somalia's got 2 cells as it is. Then it would have 1 more than troops as well, which is bad, so that's pretty bad, to be honest. Yeah, it's not always good drawing cards, because that's now one more card. So now that we've got 4 jihadist cards that I think are pretty much playable. Okay, well there was good happened there for sure. I mean, remember we would have had to spend 2 3-ops cards to get rid of the 2 plots. I mean, we pretty much did. We did better, because that done it better, for sure, because we got rid of the 2 cells, 1 in each. But it pretty much was almost 2 3-ops cards, not quite. Right, this is lapsing, so this stays at the side there. And that'll be there till the end of the turn. Like I say, we've got to remember that. Alright, I need wiretapping's got a marker. Right. Okay, I found it. Wiretap is there. And it's got a leak on the back that could block it. It must just go in the events box, so that's fine. I'll put that there. But it's just to mark it. Yeah, I don't really see the point of that marker, because I've played the event anyway. It's not something that sits. Okay, well I'll just say, and it just says mark, so that's just going to the discard pile. It's not getting removed. That's there. Yeah, okay. Better get away for now. It's on hour and 14 minutes as well. So, not sure if I'll get back for another part, to be honest. We'll see. But I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, cheers.